Hello and welcome to Sudoku Guy's Sudoku solving session. I have some killer Sudoku planned for today. And before we dive in, killer Sudoku is a specific variant of Sudoku where you normally have to do have 1 through 9. Each number 1 through 9 has to appear in each row, has to appear in each column, has to appear in each marked 3x3 box, but there's also some marked regions that will have numbers in them, and all the numbers in the regions have to add up to a specific given number. I will show you exactly what that looks like in a minute. It should be pretty self-explanatory. Without further ado, let me get the music going. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm using Puzzle Mix today. That's the name of the site I'm getting these puzzles from. Oops. There we go, there's the puzzle. Sorry about that. Okay, so as you can see, there's numbers already in there, just sort of in the top left corner of some of the regions. What this means is that the numbers in those regions have to add up to the numbers given. One more rule is that numbers are not allowed to repeat within a region. So that can be that will turn out to be important, possibly later. So the first thing I like to do for these is to look for really low numbers or really high numbers. Here we have a 3. That's really low, and in fact the only way we can get two numbers that add up to 3 is to have a 1 and a 2. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that down. The next thing I notice is this 29 here. I don't know if that's particularly high, but it is worth noting that all 9 of the numbers in this top left box here are going to have to add up to 45. And since these 6 are 29, these 3 here are going to have to add up to 45 minus 29, which is 16. Which is not really enough information to do anything yet. Oh, you know what? I did notice this box here. Okay, that's even less useful. Forget what I said. But if the 29 was just these 6, then these 3 would have to add up to 16. Okay, that's not useful at all then. Here's one. 24, the only way to get these with 3 different numbers from 1 to 9 is 7, 8, 9. I should also add, there's this red X through the middle. You've got the diagonals, they also have to have 1 through 9 on them. That's also a rule for this variant. That may also help us there. Another 24 has to be 7, 8, 9. 24 for 3 boxes. Ooh, 27 for 4 boxes, that's a lot. Are there, what are the ways to make 27? 30 is the highest that you can get with 4 boxes, that's 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there are a few different ways to get 27, so we can't deduce anything yet. Oh, this 6. This 6 has to be 1, 2, 3. That's as low as you can get with 3 boxes. What other numbers seem really high or really low? Really high, I mean for the number of squares in the region. So to sort of point out why I'm writing these down, first of all, this is the only way to get started because this puzzle doesn't actually give me any numbers to start with. But here we have 7, 8, 9 in a row. This is a triple. 3 squares. Each of them has to have a 7, 8, or 9. Each of them has to have a different 7, 8, or 9 because they're all in the same column. That means we can't have any 7, 8, or 9 anywhere else in the column because otherwise we'd have 3 squares and only 2 numbers that can go in them. So that tells us a little bit. For example, here, the highest 2 numbers we can have here are 5 and 6. And I'm going to write them in for example purposes. The highest 2 numbers we can have here are 5 and 6, which gives us a sum of 11, which means these 2 numbers are going to have to add up to at least 19. 19, 7, 9. This could also be higher. It could be 8, 9, and this could be this would then have to add up to 10 without using any 7, 8, or 9. That would have to be 4 and a 6. So I believe we can safely say that these 2 both have to be a 7, 8, or 9. And these 2 both have to be a 4, 5, or 6. Now we have another triple. This one here, and this one here. These all are 7, 8, or 9, so none of the other squares in here can be. And, I mean, I don't think any of the other ones could have been a 9 anyways. A 9 would be too high to have all this add up to 11. You'd have to have 2 1s. And as I said earlier, you can't have 2 1s in the same region. So now where do we go? If any of, I see we have a viewer now, so welcome. If you see anything, please feel free to let me know. Working together is really the funnest way to do this sort of thing. These 9s are interesting to me. This one here and this one over here. I wonder, because we can't have them add up in the same way because they're both in the same row. I don't think we can conclude anything yet. This 5 here, can't have any numbers higher than 4 and have it still add up to 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in. Pencil marks are important. Whenever I'm a little bit stuck, it's good to just write down as many things as I can figure out as I can. This 11. We know a lot of things around it, so it would be nice to know something about it specifically. Oh, here's something. These 6 boxes here, they add up to 32. This 27 and this 5. So since all 9 of these boxes have to have 1 through 9 and add up to 45, that means these have to add up to 13. These 3 here. Since this is a 7, 8, or 9, and all 3 of these add up to 13, these 2 together have to be 4, 5, or 6. That doesn't tell me as much as I hoped. In particular, if there is a 5 in here, then this doesn't tell me much. If there's no 5 in here, then we know that a 5 has to go in one of these 2, and the other one has to be a 6. Then we have all 4 of these are 4 or less, and a lot of things fall into place. let's look at this 12. It's pointing in the same direction as a lot of the stuff that we know. There are, I believe, 3 different ways to add up to 12. We can make a 3 and a 9, a 4 and 8, or a 5 and a 7. We can't put a 3 in this currently highlighted box because there's already 1, 2, 3 in these 3. Sorry, in these 3. So this is 4 plus. And this is somewhere from 3 to 8. You know what? I'm just going to keep writing things down. This isn't really much information, but every little bit might help. You never know. Oh, here's something I should have noticed earlier. 23. Here's a 23 region with only 3 boxes in it. There's only one way to do that. It's 6, 8, and 9. And I know this just sort of from experience, but I guess one way to see it is the highest you can get is 7, 8, and 9. You need to make one of them 1 lower, because 7, 8, 9 is 24. So, the only one you can actually make lower is the 7, because otherwise you get 2 of the same number. So now what this gives us is these 4 squares are all in the middle box, and they're all 6, 7, 8, or 9. So the other 5 have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in some order. In particular, this one can't be a 7, and this one can't be a 6, because otherwise there would be nowhere in this box that a 7 or a 6 respectively could go. Okay, so again, these 4 have to be a 6, 7, 8, and 9. They all have to be different. 6, 7, 8, 9 adds up to 30. And we know that these 3, whatever they are, they add up to 10. So these 2 are the ones remaining in this box. The entire box has to add up to 45, so they have to add up to 5. In particular, they can't be 5, because we're not allowed to put a 0. We'd have to have 5 plus 0 to make them add to 5. Okay. So that means the 5 has to go in this column. We're looking at either a 1, 4, 5 or a 2, 3, 5. I think it's hard to say just yet. I think that will determine which of these is a 1 and which of these is a 2 also. We need someplace for high numbers to go in this column. This 23 is, I guess, probably the best spot, but I don't know. Another region I would really like to know about is this one. The ways to add up to 13 are 4 plus 9, 5 plus 8, and 6 plus 7, and either way that will eliminate one of these options here. Oh, you know what? Here we have a 6, 8, and 9. 6, 8, and 9 are going to have to be in this region in some order. So they're already in this column, so this one here can't be a 6, 8, or 9. So we've got to be 4, 9, or 5, 8, or 6, 7, but we can't have 6, 8, or 9. So this tells us what numbers we're allowed to have over here too. 6 plus 7, 8 plus 5, or 9 plus 4. Okay. Well, there's some high numbers. Okay, what other regions look promising? Which ones are going to give us some information? It would be really nice if this were 1, because then these three remaining ones in this region would have to add up to 23, which would mean there are 6, 8, and 9, for the same reason that these have to be a 6, 8, and 9. It's the only way to add up to 23. I really don't want to have to make a what-if judgment yet. Sometimes that's really the only way to advance, but I don't think we're there yet. Is to just make a guess and see what happens. I haven't really taken much of a look at the diagonals yet. For those of you who just arrived, these long diagonals also have to contain the numbers 1 through 9 exactly once each. That's why they're highlighted in red. This 7 is kind of low. Can I figure out anything about it? I don't think... I mean, can't have anything 7 or higher, right? So these 7 boxes have to add up to 33. Now there's tons of ways to do that, I'm sure. Definitely don't know the ways to add up 7 numbers off the top of my head, but if that means that since all 9 of these have to be 1 through 9 and add up to 45, that means these two minus this one, I believe, have to add up to 12. Well, that's not very useful. Never mind. How about here? We have to have a 1, 2, and 3. They have to be among these 4 squares. What happened to the music? I'm just gonna skip ahead. There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, 1, 2, and 3 are going to have to go here in this column. We can't have a 1 or 2 here, but unfortunately we have 4 squares for them to go into. So something else could go here, and we could have... It doesn't have to be just a 3. Oh, you know what? I've been forgetting about the rule that you can't have numbers repeat within a region. So since we have 7 here, that does actually tell us a lot. Since we have to have 7 different numbers, it means the numbers we don't use have to add up to 12. 45 minus 33. 45 is what you get when you add all the numbers from 1 to 9 together. So... what does that tell us? Oh, it tells us more about this one, actually. 7 of them have to add up to 29. If you add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, that's 28. That's as low as you can possibly get with 7 squares. With 29, this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. That's actually the only way to get 29. And I'm going to write them all in for now and then mark some off later because I think we can do that. like here, we can't have a 1, 2 anywhere in this row because the 1 and 2, this is where they go in this row. We can't have an 8 anywhere in this column because this is where, I mean, an 8's going to have to go in one of these 3 boxes. So this allows us to write some more things down, I guess. Are there any more deductions we can make up there? I guess really the more interesting thing is noticing that we can't have a 7 or a 9 there. Oh, I see. Okay. So you can't have a 9 in any of these 3 because we can't have a 9 in the 7 squares that add up to 29. We can't have a 9 here. We already discussed this because then this would have to be a 3 because these two have to add up to 12. And we already have spots allocated for a 3. A 3 is going to have to go in one of these 3 squares in this middle left box. And we can't have a 9 here because we can't have 2 things add up to 9 and have one of them be a 9. You're going to get something too high. So the only spot a 9 can actually go in this box is right there. We said this has to be an 8 or a 9, so it's got to be an 8 now. Okay. We've got a foot in the door now. This is good. 8 can't go here. It's good to have some actual numbers on the board now. That's great. Now, 7 can't go in any of these 6 because you can't have a 7. And I mean, we already decided that these 7 numbers that add up to 29 have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. In particular, not 7. We can't have a 7 here because then this would have to be a 2 to make these add up to 9. And we already have a 1 or a 2 is going to have to go in one of these 2 squares within this middle top box. So we can't have a 2 here. These would both have to be 1s. So this can't be a 7. And the only place a 7 can go is here. And then because these have to add up to 12, it's got to be a 5. Now these can't be 5s. This is when all of my note-taking from earlier, this can't be a 5 either. Oops. All of my note-taking from earlier is going to start to pay off now. Oh, this can't be 1, 2, or 3 because these are already allocated for 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so one of these two has to be a 9, the other has to be a 6. That means we can't have a 9 here. Which means the 9 in this 7, 8, 9 is going to have to go here and not here. Okay, I think the key step here was noticing that there's only a few spots that the 7 and 9 can go. That was how we get started. Alright, great. We have started now. The music stopped again. What happened? Oh, this can't be a 7. Already have a 7 in that column. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand. This is a tough one. But it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it. This can't be a 9. I knew this would be a tough one coming in. I believe the average solve time is like half an hour. I'm going a little bit slower because I'm explaining things, but if you've been here for a while, you've also seen that I have also just been stuck. Hard ones build character, though. This is good. This is how you get better at things. Can I say anything about this 11 now? I wonder. We can't have a 9 in it. I guess we already knew that, because... I mean, you're not allowed to have 2 of the same number in a box, so... If one of these was a 9, then the others would both have to be 1 in order to add up to 11. That's not allowed. What if we just... What's left for these 2 boxes? Can't be 1, 2, 3, or 5. Also can't be a 9. So I guess I can write in these have to be 4, 6, 7, or 8. Oop, 4, not 3. doesn't leave us very many options for these two. If the lowest this can be is a 4, highest one of these can be is I think a 6. 4, 6, 1 would get you up to 11. Okay, what else looks enticing? I like this column. This column we know quite a bit about. I would really like to know that this can't be a 6, but unfortunately I think it could. This could be a 6, this could be a 1, this could be a 4. We know any. Oh, you know what? This is the only spot a 9 can go in this box. Because we already established that these two have to add up to 16 or 17. So one of them has to be a 9. And it can't be this, because there's already a 9 in that column. So we can write that in. It's also the only spot a 9 can go in that column now that I'm looking at it. So this means that one of these 3 squares has to be a 9. Interesting. If this one were the 9, this would have to be a 1. These would have to be a 2, 3. I don't think there's anything useful going down that hypothetical. Where do 6 and 8 go in this column? Well, 8 has to go... 8 can't go here, because looking at the numbers that can go here, we're going to get something more than 11 if we put an 8 here. So the only numbers 8 can go in this column are here or here. Which means if we put an 8 here, there's nowhere an 8 can go in that column, because it would block off the 8s from that box. That can't be an 8. Oh, this can't be a 9 now, which means this can't be a 4. Because there's already a 9 in this box. I've said this before, but if you're watching and you see something that I'm missing, please tell me. Solving together is the most fun. Where can 4 and 6 go in this box? It has to be here, or here, or here. Oh, So this has to be a 4 or a 6. 4, 5, and 6 have to be in these 3 boxes in some order. So we can check those off here. So these have to be 1, 2, 3. We already established this can't be a 1 or a 2 because of these 2 guys. If this was, say, a 1, then both of these would have to be a 2, and that's bad. So here's our 3. No, this can't be 1 or 2. And I believe this is the only spot 5 can go within this region. We said there has to be a 5 in this 29. The way to add up to 29 with 7 distinct numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So here's our 5. This has to be a 4, 6, or 8 now. Meaning this has to be 1, 3, or 5. This can't be a 1, so this can't be an 8. Oh, also because one of these two has to be an 8. We already established that. Huh. Okay, so what can go here? Can't have a 5, 7, or 9 because they're already in that column. Can't have anything higher than a 6 because otherwise we'll get something higher than 11 when we add up with something here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. May as well write that down. I don't think we can eliminate anything given anything else in the column. And I suppose the same goes here. Seven and 8 are going to have to go either here or here or here in this column. Okay, so this row is interesting because the highest numbers are already taken. Can we deduce anything? Are there any, like here, the highest this can be is a 6. This has to add up to 23. I don't think we can quite deduce things from that yet, but it's something to keep an eye on. These have to add up to 24. Oh, this can't be a 3. We have a 3 in this diagonal. There has to be, the numbers 1 through 9 have to appear once each on this top left to bottom right diagonal. It's marked in red. Anyway, my point is these 3 are going to have to add up to 15 if we want all 4 of these to add up to 24. Unfortunately, 15 is a number that there's a lot of ways to add up to 15 with 3 numbers from 1 to 9. Oh, so 3 now in this middle box has to go either here or here. One of these has to be a 3, and one of these has to be a 5. So that means we're looking at a 2, 3, 5 to add up to 10 here. We can't do the 1, 4, 5, which is the other option, because that doesn't use a 3. Oh, and that means that these two have to be the 1 and a 4. These are the only spots that 1 and a 4 can go in this middle box now. Okay, that's a step. Oh, and we can't have a 4 here now, getting fancy, because then both of these would have to be 1. That's not allowed. Fancy schmancy. If this is a 1, then we have to add up to 14 with these other two boxes in this 24 region. They're going to have to be a 6 and an 8 because it can't be a 5 and a 9. So this would have to be a 6, this would have to be an 8. And a number of things would fall. This would have to be a 7. This would have to be an 8. What if this is a 4? 9 plus 4 is 13, 24 minus 13 is 11. Since we're already using a 4 and a 9, the ways to add to 11 remaining would be 3 plus 8 and 5 plus 6, I think. Doesn't tell me as much as I'd hoped. What if we look further along this diagonal? We have a lot of information about this diagonal now. Can't have a 3, can't have a 9. Also can't have a 1 or a 4 because of these two. If we have, say, a 1 here, then both of these would have to be 4. That's bad. So the numbers that are left then are 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I get that right? I got that right. I'm gonna go ahead and write this down for all of them. Looks like they're all three in fairly large regions, so we can't figure anything out yet. How about this 27 here? That's really high for 4 boxes to, or for 4 squares to add up to. Sorry, I'm trying to call the 3x3 regions boxes and the individual squares squares. We can't have a 1, 2, 3, or 5 in this row already just by can't have a 1 or 2 because of that, and then there's already a 3 and a 5 in the row. So what are the ways to add up to 27? The ways to add up to 30 are 6, 7, 8, 9. Only way to get 29 is 5, 7, 8, 9. Now to take one more off, you can subtract from either the 5 or the 7. So to get 28, you could do 4, 7, 8, 9 or 5, 6, 8, 9. It's getting complicated. I believe the options for 27 then would be 3, 7, 8, 9. Or 4, 6, 8, 9, or 5, 6, 7, 9? Yeah. I would like to just rule the ones with 5s out, but unfortunately a 5 could go here. So we can't figure that out quite yet. Just gonna write in the 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 that has to go in all the remaining boxes in this row. Writing things down is good, gonna help me later. How about this 23? Oh, this can't be an 8. How about this 23 though? Oh, with 4 boxes. Oh, okay, I see the next step. Okay, so one of these 3 has to be a 2, right? In order to have the 2, 3, 5 add up to 10. That means this one can't be a 2. This has got to be the 1, that's got to be the 2. Okay, that is good. Okay. Now let's be tricky. Yeah, okay, I see something, hopefully. So the numbers we have here, 1, 2, 8, they add up to 11. These 3. We know these 3 are going to have to add up to 23. That makes 34 total for these 7. And we know that all 9 of these in this middle top box are going to have to add up to 45. So these have to add up to 11, just by subtracting. So this has got to be a 6 or an 8, but it can't be an 8. There's already an 8 in this box and in this row. It's going to have to be a 6 and a 5. That tells us this is a 4. This gives us a 6, 8 pair in this column. This can't be a 6. This can't be a 6 either. Now this has to be 3, 4, 7, 9. Did I get that right? Yes. Does that add up? 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 7 is 14, plus 9 is 23. That's good. Also, we have to have a 3 here or here. Only a spot of 3 can go in the middle box. So these can't be a 3. Only thing left here is a 4. Is the only spot a 3 can go. Okay, look at us. We're rolling now. 1, 2, 3, 5 are the only things left in this row. I'm gonna mark that down. Oh, okay. So, where can a 4 go in this row? Has to be in one of these three. So we have to pick that one way to add, or I mean, let me put this another way. We have to have a 4 in one of these 3 boxes. So that means the other 3, because all of them have to add up to 27, the other 3 are going to have to add up to 23. There's only one way to get 23 with 3 boxes, and that's 6, 8, 9. So we know that this has to be 4, 6, 8, 9. Now this is the only spot a 7 can go in this row. It's a 9 now. We filled an entire box! How about that? This can't be a 4 and a 9. What can this be? Can't be 1, 8. Can't be... Oh, this is a 2, 7, I think. Can't be 3, 6 because of this guy. Can't be 4, 5 because of these two. Can't be 1, 8 because then these would both have to be 6s. And that's not good. This is a 2 and a 7. That means this has to be a 1. These can't be 2s. Now what can go here? If this is 1 and 3, this is a 6. This is 1 and 5, and this is a 4. This is 3 and 5, and this is a 2. Okay. That didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. That's alright. Now we know this can't be a 7, so it has to be a 5. 5 and 8 make 13. Ooh, these two columns here look juicy. We can't have 2, 3, or 5 here because, or we can't have 2, 3, or 5 in any of either of these two because they're needed for the 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 10. So the only thing left here is 6 and a 7. We can do something similar here. Can't have a 6 or a 9 here because of these two. So we need these 3 to be a 1 and a 2 and a 4. Am I calculating that right? I think. Okay, these two add up to 13. These have to add up to 7 then, in order to make 20 total. Can't be 1 and 6 because of that 6 in the column. Can't be 2 and 5 because of the 5 in the column or the box. So these have got to be a 3 and a 4. Now this is the only spot a 1 can go. It's the only spot a 4 can go in this box. So we can take a 4 out of there. This is 1 or 2, so this has to be 8 or 9 in order to add up to 10. Okay, where else can we figure some stuff out? Oh, I can take 4s out of this column. That might be useful. This has to be at least a 6 now. That better not be a 6 then. Then we get at least 12 just with these two. Oh, or I could start looking at this other diagonal. Is there anything interesting on this diagonal? Like, where can a 9 go? Oh, there's 2 spots for a 9, here or here. We're getting really close to being able to just pick apart the columns, though. Or, I mean, the diagonals, is what I meant. Okay, so where can a 6 go in this column? It has to be one of these two. Nothing else works. So if we put a 6 here, then we can't have a 6 here, and there's nowhere for a 6 to go in that column. So this can't be a 6. Only thing left is a 4. Now this has to be a 5 and a 6. That adds up to 11. Plus 9 is 20. So this is going to have to be a 7 to add to 27. Music stopped again. Let me get that. This video is not very good. This can't be a 4. A 4 corresponds to this being a 1 and a 5. This can't be a 3. Have we figured out which numbers have to go in this 33 yet? I'm not sure. Oh, we have figured out which way these have to go. There's already a 5 in that row. What's left in this row? Just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, and 4 are already on this diagonal. This has got to be our 2. Means this has to be a 5. Okay, that's where that ends, I guess. These can't be 2s. This can't be a 5. Oh, so this actually has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9, because these 4 squares here have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 in some order. So we can't have a 1, 2, 3, or 4 there, because then we'd have 4 squares with only 3 numbers to go in them. This can't be a 5. This 5 covers both diagonals. That's like the most useful square on the board. It literally is the most useful square on the board. Now where can 8s go, or 7s? 9s or 6. Wait. So a 6 has to go either here or here on this diagonal. Nowhere else a 6 can go, I believe. And same for 9. 9 has to go here or here. Nowhere else a 9 can go on this diagonal. So one of them has to be a 6 and one of them has to be a 9. Not very many spots a 7 can go in this row. It has to be here or here. That's kind of interesting. I don't think we can figure anything out yet from that. Okay, we have enough numbers on the board that maybe we can start looking at this from like regular Sudoku. Oh, this can't be a 6 because we already have a 6 in this region. Also, in order just to make this add up to 24, it's going to have to be an 8. This is where the 6 goes in that box. Now these have to add up to 5. This can't be a 1. This can't be a 4 or a 6. Oh, which tells us some things about this one. because these two have to add up to 7. Okay, can we maybe figure anything out using this box? Has to add up to 18, which means these three have to add up to 14. This has to be at least 6. That's pretty high. If it's an 8, then these are going to have to add up to 6. Okay, let's put it this way. What's the lowest these two can be? A 1 and a 6. So that means the most this can be is 7. 4 plus 7 plus 1 plus 6 is 18. Yeah, I mathed right. Okay. Meanwhile, the highest these can be are a 2 and an 8. So 2 plus 8 plus 4 is 14. So the lowest this can be is a 4. It's got to be 4, 5, 6, or 7. And it can't be a 4 or a 6 because there's already a 4 and a 6 in this row. So that actually narrows things down significantly, at least for that square. So the only place a 7 can go on this diagonal is either here or here. So we can't have 7s anywhere else in this box. We have a lot of 5s. Can we do anything with these yet? I don't really think we can. No, I'm wrong. We can. Okay, where can 5 go in this column? Can't go here, 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 can go here. Can't go here because there's already a 5 on the diagonal. Can't go here or here because there's already 5s in these rows. This is the only spot a 5 can go in this column. So now these add up to 9, and these 4 have to add up to 18. So these have to add up to 9. So this is a 1 or a 2, so this has to be a 7 or an 8. Can't be a 6. Now these two are where our 7 and 8 go. So we can't put a 7 here, because then both of these would have to be 8. That's not allowed. This is our 6. Here's a 7. Now there's only one place 7 can go on this diagonal. This can't be a 6 or a 2 for that matter. Since this has to be a 4 or 5, this is going to have to be a 2 or a 3 to add up to 7. Now, since 2 and 3 have to be in these two squares, if one's a 2, the other has to be a 3, and vice versa. Can't have a 2 or a 3 here, otherwise these will be the same number. It's got to be a 1. I'm starting to get an idea of which 7 numbers are going to add to 33, but I don't think I can deduce anything yet. The ones that are left out are going to have to add up to 12. That's the key point here, because all 9 numbers add up to 45. So the ones that are left out are either going to be 3 and 9, or 4 and 8, or 5 and 7. I have a strong hunch it's going to be 5 and 7, but we'll see. I'm not going to fill it in yet because it's a hunch, it's not logic. Gotta stick to logic. Oh, okay, so that 7 that we filled in down there tells us stuff here. That tells us 7's already on this diagonal, so we can fill these in. Oh, this can't be a 9 because there's already a 6 on this diagonal. Now this has to be a 6. Yeah, okay, we're to the point now where, oh no. Oh, you know what? I did some logic wrong a long time ago. I'm gonna press undo until we get back to that. That's painful though. I think I know where it happened. It was right here. It was right here when I was saying we have to have a 6 and a 9 here and here. This is completely false because there's already a 6 on this diagonal. That's where I made the mistake. This is when I'm really glad I'm solving on a computer, because if I was on paper, I'd just have to start all over. Have to do that entire hour of work all over again. That'd be really bad. So this is where we were when I made the mistake. Here's hoping there were no further mistakes, and hopefully I can probably remember most of the logic that we did since then. It'll be familiar at least. So this has to be a 9, because it can't be a 6, because there's already a 6 on this diagonal, as I failed to notice. I really hope that's where the mistake started. I'm pretty sure it is. So now this can't be 6 or 9, because there's already a 6 and 9 on that diagonal. I'm glad I noticed that. It'd be really sad to get to the end and then notice that things are wrong. That's always really sad. What else did we figure out from here? Help me remember. We were looking at the 7s, I believe. Oh, we were looking at the 5s on this column. So 5 can't go here because there's already a 5 in this row, already a 5 in this row, already a 5 on the diagonal, already a 5 in this row, already a 5 in this row. We like 5 here, already a 5 on this diagonal, already a 5 on this row, already a 5 on this row. Only place a 5 can go in this column. So these add up to 9, so these have to add up to 9. So now because there's a 7 and an 8 pair here and here, this can't be a 7, because then those would both have to be 8. This has to be the 6, this has to be the 7. Now this is the only spot a 7 can go on this diagonal. Yeah, and this 2-7 we can figure out from that. Okay, I don't think we lost too much ground. This has to be a 6 now, I believe. Yeah, we decided it's a 2-4 or 6, and, yeah, which means this has to be a 1 and a 3 to add to 10. Now the 6 tells us about these. These can't be 8, so this has to be 8. Now these have to add to 5 in order to make 11 with these 3. This can't be a 6. 5 can't go here because there was already a 5 in this column. This is the only spot a 5 can go on this row. I think that's new. I don't think I figured that out before. This has to be a 2 now, which tells us about these, which tells us about that.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step.
I do remember this being a 1 though, so that's good. This is now 7, 8, or 9. I remember writing that in too now. This is 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, I think I can prove that we have to leave a 5 and a 7 out here. The main reason being that we actually can't have a 5 in any of these seven squares. Can't have a 5 here. Well, I mean, actually, just there's already 5s in both of the boxes, both this this middle right box and this bottom right box. So we can't have any 5s here. So since we have to leave out two numbers that add up to 12, 5 and 7 are going to be the numbers that are left out. That doesn't actually tell us that much, but... oh, it does tell us something. So now 7 can't go in any of these 4, because we can't have a 7 in this region. So where can 7 go in this column? Can't go in this box, there's already a 7. So it's got to be here or here. In particular, these 3 adding up to 13 have to have a 7 in them. So it's a 5 and a 7, and to add up to 13, the other one's going to have to be a 1. So this is going to be a 1 and a 7. This one can't be a 1 because it's already 1 in the row. 7. Now what finishes up this row? 3, I think. Yes. Okay. Now what's left in this box? 4, 8, and 9. To add up to 15, it's got to be 3, 4, 8. This has got to be our 9. So this can't be an 8, otherwise these would both be 4s. Okay, now we're just finishing. This is great. This is where the 9 has to go. This is the only spot of... Okay, let's narrow some things down. It can't be a 1 or a 2. Only spot of 3 can go. Only spot of 4 can go. This has to be 2, 3, so this can't be a 2, and this can't be a 3. Okay, so we know which way these go, we know which way these go, we know which way these go. This has to be an 8 now. This can't be an 8. It's already an 8 in that column. Okay, so since these are 2 and 3, these have to be the 1 and 4, and it has to be in this order. There's already a 2 in the diagonal. Bam! Check solution. 1 hour, 1 minute. Okay. Finished it! Alright! Woo! Oh man, that was a toughie. It took me 1 hour, 1 minute, and 39 seconds. Whew! So that was a Sudoku, Killer Sudoku X. Again, I'm using the Puzzle Mix website, so I'm gonna just sit this here so you guys can admire it. You can verify that all the numbers add up to the numbers given for the region, and that the numbers 1 through 9 each appear exactly once in each row, in each column, in each box, and on each diagonal. Are you guys having issues with the quality of the stream? I'm wondering. It's giving me some funny lights here. Please let me know in the chat if it's like jumpy or whatever, and I'll play with the settings. I would rather that than have just a really hard or really hard to watch stream. Alright, in a couple of minutes I'm going to start another one. I'm going to use this opportunity to go get like a snack or something. I'm pretty hungry. Now's a great time to go to the bathroom. I will be back in 2 minutes. Alright, I'm not sure if it's been exactly 2 minutes or not, but I'm back. Shall we do another one? Let's do another one. I think this one's supposed to be slightly easier. Alright. Same rules. Still a killer Sudoku X, have to have 1 through 9 in each row, in each column, in each 3x3 box, and on each long diagonal. And the numbers in the boxes tell you what the numbers that I am writing in are supposed to add up to. First thing I noticed, the 17, it's got to be an 8 and a 9. What other high or low numbers do we see? Okay, here's an observation. A little bit tricky, but these 9 all have to add up to 45 because that's what you get. I mean, this has to be 1 through 9 because these are a box. You add up 1 through 9, you get 45. So these have to add up to 45. And these 5 regions here include these 10 squares. So we should be able to figure out what this 10th square is. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 10 is 25, plus 10 is 35, plus 12 is 47. So if these 9 add up to 45, oops, these 9 in the top left box, and then we add this one and it's 47, this has got to be a 2. To add up to 10, this had better be an 8. Now this can't be an 8, it's got to be a 9 and an 8. Yeah, we're already off to a much faster start. So this has to be a 6 and a 7. That's the highest we can get without using an 8 or a 9, which have already occurred in this box. This 12 can be either 4, 8, or 3, 9. Here's another 17, 8 and 9. I believe the regions are symmetric, so we should be able to apply the same logic to these 9 squares, these 9 squares in the bottom right box, and then this 10th one. If we add up those 5 regions, quick maths, we get 54, I believe. Yes, we get 54. This has got to be a 9. Add up to 15, has to be a 6 now. Now I wonder if we can figure out how these are paired. This may be a little ambitious. This 14 here is either a 5-9 or a 6-8. Can't be 5-9 because there's already a 9 in this column, so this is 6-8. This 11 has to be 2-9 or 3-8 or 4-7 or 5-6, except it can't be 5-6 because of this 6. If it's, say, 2-9... Actually, suppose it's not 9. Suppose it's 3-8. The only spot a 9 can go is somewhere in this 10, because you can't have 9 here or in any of these 4, because these have to add up to 9. Putting a single 9 in there is going to be too big. It's going to be 1-9. Then if this is 3-8, that's good, I think. If this were, say, 4-7, and this is 1-9, then I don't think we have any options left for the 9 pairs. So let's go ahead and write this in. This has to be either 2-9 or 3-8. Yeah, 4-7 doesn't work. Because if this was 4-7, this would have to be 1-9, and then what do we have left for a 9? Can't be 4-5, because we already used a 4 here. Can't be 3-6, because of this 6. Can't be 2-7, because we already used a 7 here. It can't be 1-8, because we would have used the 1 with the 9 at the 10 pair. This 5 has to be either 2-3 or 1-4. I'll just mark that in, I guess. 5s are pretty low. We're looking for low numbers and for high numbers. because those are going to give us the most information. This 24 here might be interesting. Oh, in fact, we can use similar logic to what we did to figure out this 9. We know that these 9 squares have to add up to 45, because they have to have 1 through 9, because this is a box. But these 8, we know their sum, because 2 of them are 9, 2 of them are 8, and the others add up to 24. 24 plus 8 is 32, plus 9 is 41, so we've got 4 missing. We can use similar logic on this box. We have 11, 15, and 17 tells us this has to be a 2. What's left for this box? 1, 3, 4, and 5? Oops. So is this the only spot a 7 can go? Yeah, we can't have a 7 in this box because one of these two has to be the 7. We can't have a 7 here because what adds up to 14 with 7? It'd have to be another 7. You can't have 2 7s. You can't have 7 here because you can't add up to 5 when one of them's 7. That's too high. So there's your 7. Okay, now we can maybe start even thinking about this 5 squares that add up to 25. These add up to 11. Oh, and we can't repeat numbers in a box. Good thing to remember.
Everything changes.
Now the only spot 2 can go in this column is in one of these two. So this is gonna have to be a 2 and a 3. So we can take the 3's out of there. This is a 1 and 5 in some order. It's gonna have to be a 4. If this were a 1 or a 5, then both of these would have to be the other one. We can't have both of them be the same thing. Only spot a 3 can go. Now what goes here? 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 is gonna make 17. So to make 25, we're gonna have to add an 8. That's good. We knew an 8 would have to be in the bottom row of this top right box. Very good. We're already moving faster than last time. These have to add up to 8 in order to make this whole thing be 12. So how do we add up to 8? We can do 1, 7. We can do 2, 6, except we can't because of that 6 down there. Or we could do 3, 5. So those are our options. Okay, so we can't. These 6 and 8 have to go here within this box. Can't have 6 or 8 here. So what do we have left? This is either to add up to 12 with 2 squares. We have to do 3, 9, or 4, 8, or 5, 7. Can't do 5, 7 because of this guy. Can't do 4, 8 because then these two would both have to be 6s, and that's bad. So this is a 3 and a 9. What's left in this box now? 1, 2, 4, and 5, I believe. Except this one can't be a 4, and both of these can't be 2s. How about this 10? Could be 1, 9. Cannot be 2, 8. There's already an 8 in the row. Can't be 3, 7. Could be 4, 6. So here are our options. How are we adding to 12 here? Either 3, 9 or 5, 7. Can't do 4, 8. How are we adding to 8? Well, it could be any of the options, 1, 7, or 2, 6, or 3, 5. Similarly here, this could be 1, 6, or 2, 5, or 3, 4. So it's interesting that we can't have a 2 in any of these 4. We can't have a 2 here or here either. So a 2 has to go either here or here in this box. That means a 2 is going to have to go in the bottom row of this box over here. I don't have a good way to notate that without using confusing notation, so I'm not going to. Okay, what else catches my eye? Oh, here's a logic I should have done before. This can't be an 8, because then both of these would have to be 9. That's no good. This better be 6, 8. We have a lot of 8s on the board. That's something to keep an eye on. So what can this 8 be? Either 1, 7, not 2, 6, or 3, 5. So it's gonna be, oops, include the 1 as well. Okay, so where can a 9 go in this row? There's only one place a 9 can go in this row. Can't be one of these 3 because a 9 has to go here or here, so it's already taken for this box. Here's the spot I claim it can go. There's already a 9 in that column. And here you can't have a 9 because then these 2 would add up to something that's too high. Now this is a 3. What's left in this column? 1, 4, 5, and 8. What's left in this? Oh, we don't know exactly which of these is going to be used. Never mind. Can we figure anything out about this 24 here? How am I so good? I have been doing this for a long time. Said I might be big in a game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't think I've seen you around before. Shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. Okay, this middle 17 has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Oh, that doesn't help. Ooh. Really, the issue is whether this is a 5-6 or a 4-7. Oh, and this can't be a 6. Because it can't be a 3-8 or a 2-9 because of these up here. Okay. Little bit stuck here. What else do I see that sticks out to me? This top column, or top row, top column doesn't make sense. Top row, we have 4 numbers in already. I wonder if we can figure out where some of the others go. What's left? 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna write these in even though it's not very useful. Oh, I haven't really used the diagonals yet. This can't be a 9. So this can't be a 2. Oh, and this can't be a 9 either. Neither of these can be a 9, because there's already a 9 here. There's already a 9 up here in this diagonal. So this is going to have to be a 3 and an 8. Wait, is there a reason it can't be a 4 and a 7? Oh, that was the whole thing I did earlier with the... If this is a 4 and a 7, then a 9 has to go here, and things get blocked with these. Okay, so this is a 3 and an 8. So we can't have any other 3s in this column. We also can't have any other 6s on this diagonal, including that guy. This can't be a 7, because it's going to be too high to add up to 7 with this one. What would have to add up to 8 with these combinations? I believe those. This can't be a 5, because then this would also have to be a 5. Can't have 2 5s. Now what adds up to 10? 1 and 9, 3 and 7, 6 and 4, 7 and 3, I think. Is that right? I think that's right. Where can 4 go in this row? Has to be here or here. These have to be an 8 and a 9. There's already a 4 taken in this box. So this can't be a 4, or else there would be nowhere else for a 4 to go in this row. It'd be a sad row. What can this 9 be? Could be 1 and 8. Can't be 2 and 7 because of that 7. Could be 3 and 6. Can't be 4 and 5 because of that 4. So we got those 2 options. That's not super useful. Okay. Okay, so more observations. If we look at what we already have written down in this box, these 4 squares, I don't see any 2s or 9s. So that means both the 2 and the 9 are going to have to be in these blank squares, which in particular are going to have to add up to 24. So if we have a 2 and a 9, and 4 of them add up to 24, the other 2 are going to have to add up to 13. Which means our options are a 6 and a 7, or a 5 and an 8. gonna write the 2 and 9 in. This doesn't look useful, but I'm gonna go ahead and write in all our other options as well. 5, 6, or 7, 8. And these can't be 8. These can't be 2 or 6. Okay, so we have to have either 5, 6, or 3, 8 in this to add up to 24 here. So, oh no, wait, never mind. That doesn't work. Oh, no, it does work. Okay, so if this is 3, 6, wait, it doesn't work. Never mind.
I can't find my way back to you till you make amends.
Wait, hold up, I'm confusing myself.
I can't regret.
Either a 6, 7 or a 5, 8 has to go in this box to go along with the 2 and the 9 that we already figured out have to go here. If it's the 5 and the 8, okay, yeah, okay, this is a good time. What do the small numbers do? This is a good time to explain how the rules of this one work. So the small numbers, are you talking about the little ones that they give me, or the little ones that I wrote in? The little ones they gave me, like there's kind of a highlighted 9 in the top left of the blocks that I currently have blue. Those tell me that there's like little dotted regions here. That tells me that these have to add up to 9. The ones I wrote in, these are just telling me what are the possible numbers that can go in this box. Like, I've deduced that these two boxes have to be either a 3 or an 8. So I have either a 3 or an 8 here, and either a 3 or an 8 here. These two I've narrowed down quite a bit. This one I have not narrowed down very much. There's still a lot of things that could go in that box. It's just to remind me what can actually go there. You know, because I can't just remember off the top of my head all of the logic. Yeah. So here I have, these two have to be an 8 and a 9 in some order, because they have to add up to 17. The only other, oh, that means I can't have an 8 or a 9 here, because then, like if this were a 9, then these would both have to be 8, because then that'd be bad. So this is a 5 or a 7? Oh, you know what? This has to be 1 and 8, because where can an 8 go in this middle right box? It can't go here or here, because there's already an 8 in this column and already an 8 in this row. We can't have an 8 here because these two have to add up to an 8, so putting an 8 here would be too high. So this has to be a 1 and an 8, which means 1 can't go anywhere else. So this has to be a 3 and a 5. Excellent. Now this has to be a 7. Okay. This was the step I needed. So now this can't be a 2, because then I'd have 3 boxes and only a 6 and a 9 to go in them. So this can't be a 2, it's gotta be a 5 now. What's left in this row? 1, 4, 7, I think? These add up to 12. With this one it has to add up to 15, so this will be a 3. Leaving what else in this row? 5 and 6, I think? That's good, that adds up to 11. Okay, now these have to add up to 17. 3 plus 2 plus 5 is 10. So these remaining ones have to give 7. So if this is a 4, then this is a 3. If this is a 1, this is a 6. This can't be a 3 because we already have a 3 in this column, so it's 1 and 6. 4 remains in this box. If I'm going like way too fast, feel free to slow me down. Again, I am doing some kind of crazy hard ones today, so oops. This can't. Oh, wait. This can't be a 3 because there's already a 3 in the row. It can't be a 5 or a 9 because there's already a 5 and 9 in this diagonal. That leaves only 7, which tells me which order this 6 and 7 go in. Can't have 7 anywhere else in this row. Oh, this has to be a 5 because these two have to add to 12. Which tells me this order, which order these 1 and 5 go in. This can't be a 1 or a 5 now. It's got to be a 3. These add to 12, have to be a 5. Oops. This can't be a 5. Or a 1 or a 3. This has got to be a 2. Okay, so this is 1, 3, or 7. In order to add to 10, if this is a 1, this has to be a 9. That's good. If this is a 3, this has to be a 7. This can't be a 7. That's all the options. So that can't be a 4. Oh, and this can't be a 3 because of that 3. Add to 7, this has to be a 4. What's missing in this row? 6. Okay, what's missing in this box? 2 and 4. This top right box. So this can't be a 6. This has to be a 1 and a 9. Okay, if this is an 8 here, then both of these would have to be a 3. That's really bad, because this can't be an 8. This leaves only 1. This can't be a 6 because of this 6. And this 9 means this can't be a 9. No, this can't be a 6 either. That's the only spot a 6 can go. What's left in this column? 1, 2, and 9? These two have to add to 10, so this better be a 1 and a 9. Oops. I believe this has to be a 2 or 4. It can't be a 3 or an 8, so to add to 9, this has to be a 5 and a 7. What else is left in this column? Just 2, 4, 5, and 7? Are those the ones that are missing? Just have this left side and this bottom down here. I don't know anything. Oh, I haven't been looking at the diagonal. I forgot about the diagonal. This has to be a 1, because there's already a 9 on the diagonal. Okay, this has to be an 8. There's already a 3. Now what's left on the diagonal? It's a 4. This is a 5. This has to be 7 and 2 now. Okay, now we're at the point where we just have to finish the puzzle. Oops. We already know a lot. So these add to 7, and altogether they have to add to 24. So these two have to add to 17. 24 minus 7 is 17. That means this has to be an 8 and a 9. That's the only way to get 17. So this can't be a 5. It has to be an 8. It has to be this order. This row is missing a 4 and a 5. This row is missing 3, 6, and 7. This row is missing 1, 2, 5, 8. Okay, which combinations add up to 9? Just 7 and 2. Okay, so these two add up to 9, and all 4 of these have to add up to 20, so these have to add up to 11. That means a 3 would have to go with an 8, a 6 would have to go with a 5. Oh, and I guess I can take 2 out anyways. There's only one spot of 1 can go in this row. Okay, this column only has one thing missing. It's a 5? It's a 5. So to add to 12, that has to be a 6. Now this is a 3, this is an 8. Okay, this has to be a 4 now. Okay. We did it! Almost. Oh! 2 empty squares. Oops. Yes. Okay. We did it! 31 minutes, 18 seconds. Let me show the time. "31 minutes, 18 seconds. I will take it. That was a pretty tricky one. And hey, that didn't take as long as the first one, so I have time to do one more. Or maybe a couple more. Maybe I'll do some easier ones. Whew. Let's see, what do I have lined up? I can do another killer, but it's 6 by 6. This should take a lot less time, I hope. Yeah, let's try to do this one as fast as we can. Bam. That looks a little bit less intimidating, huh? Okay. So we're only using numbers 1 through 6. I have to make that change in my head. I don't see any really small numbers. Oh, 7. There's only one way to get 7 with 4 of them. It's 1, 2, 4. That means the other ones in this column have to be 3, 5, and 6. These have to add to 8. So these are the options. Ooh, adding to 9 with 3. How many ways are there to do that? 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2, 3, 4. That's still a lot. Okay. About 14. That has to be 3, 5, 6. Which means you can't have a 3 or a 5 here, because then we'd have only 2 numbers left, and 3 boxes, 3 squares. This has to be a 2. Add up to 8, that's gotta be a 6. Okay, these add to 8, these add to 9. Together they add to 17, so this has to be a 4, because all 6 of these have to add to 21, because that's the numbers 1 through 6. Same logic here gets us another 4. These can't be a 6 anymore. The 6 has to go here. Only spot of 4 can go in this column is here. This has to be a 2 now. One, 3, 5 left in this row. If this were 3 and 5, oops, 3, 5, then we'd have 3 boxes, all of which have to have a 3 or a 5. 3 squares with 2 numbers is not enough to go around, so this can't be 3, 5. It's got to be 2, 6. It's the only other way to make 8. Oh, in order to make 9, this I guess has to be 3 and 5. In order to make 9, if this is a 4, these two have to add up to 5. That means they're either a 1 and a 4 or a 2 and a 3. It can't be a 1 and a 4 because we already have a 4. That's a 2 and a 3. So this can't be a 3. 1 and 6, that's good. That adds up to 16. One, 5, 6 left in this column? Oh, and this can't be a 6. 1 and 3 left in this row, 4 and 5 left in this row. 5 is too big to make 7. This has to be a 1 and a 2 already just to make 7. Now to add to 14, this is a 6. Did they throw me one that's completely symmetric? I think they did, just looking at the boxes. That's kind of funny. If I noticed that earlier, I could have taken advantage of it, I think. Now, we finish the puzzle. That's bad. I messed up somewhere. Oops, I put two 1s in that row. That's supposed to be a 4. Bam, done. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. That was quite a bit faster. Whew. That one was a lot easier. Okay, that's all the killer ones I have, I think. Let me check some of my other sources and see if I can. I guess I'm just making this a killer Sudoku today. They're fun, I like that variant. It's one of my favorites. Oh, I can do some more killer. Great, okay. So I'm out of puzzles on Puzzle Mix. I'm cheap and don't pay for the subscription, so I only get a few. But there's another site called Janko that I like to use. Let me pull it up. They're a bit easier than the ones that took me an hour, so I can probably get 1 or 2 more in before I have to go to bed. Let me size this, okay? Oh, what? I don't want a 4x4. I want something bigger. Does it tell me what size? Okay, great. Oh, I already did a couple of the 9x9s. Let's keep going. Number 23. Yeah, there's no timer also on this site, so no pressure. Okay. On the downside, I don't like the solver as much. The pencil marks are a lot harder to see. So here's a 4. 2 numbers adding to 4 have to be a 1 and a 3. Can you see that alright? Oh, there's no one left. It looks like y'all can see that alright. Here's another 4, has to be a 1 and a 3. And another one. They all have to be 1 and 3. Now this 6 here, 6s are 1 and 5 or 2 and 4. If this were 1 and 5, let me write that in just hypothetically, then all 4 of these squares here would be 1, 3, and 5. And that's 4 squares with 3 numbers, not enough to go around. So we can't have a 1 and a 5. It doesn't work. It's got to be 2 and 4. 16, the only way to make 16 is 7 and 9. The only way to make 24 is 7, 8, and 9. And you can't put a 7 or a 9 here, because then these would both be the other one. That's bad. So this has to just be an 8. Straight up an 8. Here's a 1 and a 3. Another 4. There are a lot of 4s. A lot of 2 numbers that have to add up to 4. Only way to make 17 is 8 and 9. So since 7, 8, and 9 are already taken, we have to use numbers that are 6 or less. The only way to make 10 is actually to use a 4 and a 6. Now 1 and 5 has to be 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. Can't be a 1 and a 4, because then we have 1, 4, and 6 for these 4 squares. That's 3 numbers, 4 squares, not enough to go around. Can't be 1 and 4, so it's got to be 2 and 3. What's left up here, I believe, 1 and 5. That leaves only one way to make 7, and only one way to make 8, because these are all in the same box. Lots of things pairing up. Very good. It's a good thing to see. So 8 with 3 squares is either 1, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 5. Can't be 1, 3, 4, because 3 and 4 are already accounted for in this column. It's 1, 2, and 5. 1 and 2, 1's already accounted for here, and 2's already accounted for here. This straight up just has to be a 5. Meaning these can't be 5s. So 1 and 2 have to go here in this box. So this can't be a 1. Okay, only one way to make 23 with 3. It's 6, 8, 9. So this can't be a 6. What's left in this box? 5 and 7 make 12. Oh, so this can't be a 7. And we only have a few things left for this 12. It's gotta be a 4 and an 8, but this can't be a 4. It's gotta be that way. Okay, this can't be a 3, because then both of these would have to be 1s. So those have to go that way. This can't be a 1, for similar reasons. So now this can't be 5 and 9, because there's already a 5 in this row. It's got to be 6 and 8. So this can't be a 6 now. And we've filled in a square. Excellent. 7 and 9 are what's left in this row. What can go here? This 14 is again 5, 9, or 6, 8. We can't have an 8 or 9, so the higher one's going to have to go down below. The lower one's going to have to go up top. There are two ways to make 22 out of 3. It's 6, 7, 9, or it's 5, 8, 9. It can't be 6, 7, 9 because there's nowhere a 6 can go in here. This has to be a 7 or a 9. And there's already a 6 in this row, so it's got to be the 5, 8, 9. So this can't be a 7. This has to be a 7. It's got to be a 5 and an 8. Now this can't be a 5 because 5's already accounted for in the box. So So 6, 8 is the only way to make 14. Oh, this tells us which way these go. And this is the only place 7 can go in this row. That has to be a 2 now. 4 is left in this box. This has to be a 7. 9, 7. 1, 3, 5 is left in this row. What makes 9 with 1, 3, and 5? 4, 6, and 8. But this can't be 6 or 8. It has to be a 4. Oh, and this has to be a 6. So this has to be a 3 to add to 9. That tells us which way these go. What's left in this row now? 1, 2, and 5. So this is the only spot a 5 can go. This has to be a 6 to make it add to 11. This is the only spot a 9 can go now. These have to add to 10. What's left in this box? 5, 7, and 8. So this has got to be the 5 and the 8 to add up to 13. This has got to be the 7. What's left to go here? 2 and 9? That looks right. This can't be a 9 because 9's already accounted for in this column. 2 and 9. Okay, so this has to be a 2 and a 9, because it can't be 3 and 8, can't be 4 and 7, can't be 5 and 6, because those already appear in that row. It's got to be a 2 and a 9, and there's already a 9 in this column, so it's got to be this way. That tells us which way these go. And I believe a 4 is the only thing left that can go there. How about this box? It's got to be 1, 7, nope, because there's already a 7 in the column. 2, 6, nope, there's already a 2 there. It's got to be a 3 and a 5. So then 3 and 5 are accounted for in the box. So this can't be 3, 6, or 4, 5. It also can't be 1, 8, because there's a... Oops. There's already a 8 in the column. So I think this is the only spot a 4 can go in this column. What's left in this box? 1, 6, 8, 9. These have to add to 14, so 6, 8. 1, 9. This has got to be the 9. That tells us about these. Oh, this can't be a 9 either. Oh, what? This got to be the 6. This is the 8. This is the 9. Okay, we're in finishing mode. Just fill in what's left. Okay, maybe. Oh, yep. Okay, this can't be an 8. This can't be a 1. This can't be an 8. That told us about these. Okay, this can't be a 2. Do we know about any of these pairs yet? Not yet. What's left in this column? 4, 5, 7. Only place a 4 can goes there. That's got to be a 5 now to make 7. To make 11, this has to be a 1, 3, 7. 1 can't go there, so it's got to go this way. Now we know about these. Wow, like all of them. And then what's left? A 2 and a 6. Solved! Solved! You know what? I'm feeling good, so I'm going to do one more. That was number 23. Here comes number 24. Wait, if I scroll, it messes it up for you, doesn't it? Is this... There we go. Okay, great. Okay, 17. Gotta have an 8 and a 9 there. 3 to make 7 has to be 1, 2, and 4. 4 has to be 1 and 3. I think we beat that horse to death last puzzle. And another one. Auto Janko really likes his 1 plus 3 makes 4. Okay, to make 6 with 3, you gotta pick the 3 lowest numbers. Make 17 with 2, you gotta pick the highest numbers. Otherwise, you'll be too low. Okay, so these 8 here, we know what they add up to, minus the middle one. And we know that what all 9 add up to, because it has to be 1 through 9 to make 45. So 7 plus 7 plus 12 plus 12 is 38. So this had better be a 7. And this is a 5 to make it add to 12. Now this can't be 1 and 5, so it's got to be 2 and 4. So this can't be a 2 now. What's left? 1, 3, and 6, I believe. This can't be a 1, because then we won't be able to get high enough to get 19 with 3. These would both have to be 9s, and that's not allowed. So this can't be 2, 4 now, because then we'd have 3 squares here that all have to be a 2 or a 4. There's just not enough numbers to go around. So we gotta have a 1 and a 5. So this can't be a 1, because then these would both have to be 5s. So here's the 3 and the 1. This can't be a 3 or a 1 now, it's gotta be a 2. What do I see next? Other numbers that look low or high. Okay, so here, this 11, since we already have a lot of things in this gray box, we can deduce a lot about what has to add up to 11. It's got to be either 2, 9, which could work. Oh, let me write that in. Can't be 3 and 8 because there's already a 3. Can't be 4 and 7 because there's already a 7. Can't be 5 and 6 because there's already a 5. So there's gotta be 2, 9. So this can't be a 2 now. What's left? 6 and 8. This can't be an 8 because that's too high to add up to 7. That tells us a lot. This now has to be a 2 and a 5. And what's left? A 3 and a 9? Good, that adds up to 12. Okay, so this can't be 6, 9, because then all 4 of these squares would have a 3 or a 6 or a 9. Not enough numbers to go around. The only other way to make 15 is 7, 8. Now what's left here? A 2 and a 6. That adds up to 8. That's good. Now this has to be a 1 and a 4, can't be a 2 and a 3, or else, because a 2 has to be here or here. Are there lots of ways to make 20? It seems like maybe so. Oh, here's a 17. Has to be an 8 plus 9. Oh, this 1 and 3 here? Can't have a 1 here because then these would both be 3s. This is the only place a 1 can go in this to make in this region, which has to have a 1 and a 2 and a 4. So now this can't be a 2. What's left in this column is 6 and a 7. Means this has to be a 4 or a 5. 22 is 6, 7, 9, or it's 5, 8, 9. Can't be 5, 8, 9, because 6 and 7 are none of those, so this is a 6, 7, 9. We've got here. What's left in this box now? 3, 5, and 8. 8 can't go here, because too high to add up to 8 with something else. And 3 can't go here because 3 has to go in one of these two. This can't be a 5. 5. This would also have to be a 5 to make 10. So this is where our 8 goes. And we can... Oh, this has to be a 3 and a 5 now. That's useful. Okay, and it can't be a 3, because 3 has to go here or here. This is where 5 goes. That tells us which way everything goes. Great. Six and 7 is what's left here. I mean, these are going to have to be an 8 and a 9. So this can't be an 8, because then those would both have to be 9s. That's bad. Tells us about these. I think this one might be slightly harder than the one I just did, but still not nearly as hard as the puzzle mix ones. 4, 6, 7, 9 are what's left in this column. That's kind of a lot. Still worth writing down though. This can't be a 4, this can't be a 7. This can't be a 9 because that's too high to make 7. And this can't be a 6 because then this would have to be a 1. There's already a 1 in that column. Okay, this can't be an 8. That tells us which way these go, and which way these go. And this can't be a 9. These can't be 4s. This has to be a 6, 7 pair. That's good, that adds up to 13. I don't really feel like explaining this step, so I'm not going to. But I know it's true. Oh, and now this has to be a 7. This, tells us a lot of things about ordering here. 6 has to go here, 9, 5. 4, 6, 7 left in this column? Is that right? That looks right. Okay, we know which order these go. What's left in this row? Oh, this can't be a 6. It's gotta be a 7. It's gotta go this way. And then make them add to 15. That tells us which way these go. Okay, what's left here? 2 and 7. Great. This has to be 3 to make them add to 12. And what else is left? 1. And what else is left? A 4 and a 5? This can't be a 4, because then these both have to be 1s. 5 and 4. 7, 2. This can't be a 3. Alright, we're getting close to finishing mode. What's left in this column? 2 and 4? No, not 4. 2 and 5. I believe. What's left in this column? 6 and 7? That looks right. So this is going to have to be a 2 and a 7 to add to 9. It's got to be a 5 now. These have to add to 15. Oh, this is a 6, obviously. To add to 20, there's got to be a 9. Oh, this can't be a 6. That tells us which way everything goes over here. What's left? 4 and 7? That's a 4, not a 3. What's left in this column? 8 and 3? 3, not 2. And this column has to be a 5. Yeah, so to add to 19, it's got to be this way. Yeah, this is going to have to be 4 and 9. Uh-oh. Oh, that's bad. There's already a 6 up here, so I'm claiming these both have to be 7s. What's actually left in this column? 7 and 8? I think I just messed up and was supposed to write an 8 here. Fortunately, I'm really fortunate that that mistake didn't actually mess up the solve. But that'll do it! Woo! One more solve. Okay, it is past the hour, so I need to get going. Thank you for watching with me. I enjoyed this session a lot. I really like killer Sudokus. I'll do something different next time, though. Speaking of next time, I'm actually out of town for the next 2 weeks, so it's going to be a long time until my next stream. I won't be able to stream next week or the week after, so I guess I'll be back on the 26th? Yeah, today's the 5th. I will be back on the 26th with another couple of hours of Sudoku. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Please join me. Thanks for watching.